Hello, I'm Sally Barry with Seven's coverage of a world record freefall attempt by Austrian adventurer Felix Baumgartner. Tonight's launch has been delayed by some rather windy weather conditions. So let's go to Seven's US Bureau Chief Mike Amor, who is at the launch centre in Roswell, New Mexico. Mike, we've already seen this project delayed once before. What's behind tonight's delay?
Well, Sally, you can see the launch site lit up behind me, but unfortunately not good news as it stands right now. They need near perfect conditions to launch Felix, and unfortunately at the moment, while there's a little wind here on the ground, 250 metres above me, there are winds of about 30 kilometres an hour. And because this balloon, this giant balloon, which is 55 stories high, is so tall, it will be buffeted by those balloons while the capsule containing Felix was still on the ground, potentially dragging that capsule along the ground before it takes off. That's their big fear right now. They're carefully monitoring the wind conditions here, and they're hoping as we get closer to dawn, you can probably see the sun starting to pop up now, they're hoping that those wind conditions, Sally, may calm down.
Do we have any idea if they are going to launch tonight, or is there any word on that at this stage, Mike?
We're told the latest is they will not launch before 12:30 a.m. your time, and that a final decision has to be made by 1 a.m. your time as to whether they launch or not. They've only got 2 of those balloons. Once it's inflated, they can't reuse it immediately. That's the problem they're facing. Very frustrating for the people on the ground like us waiting to see this, but you have to understand that this is a record that has stood for 50 years, and in the meantime, a number of people have died trying to break this record. So in perfect conditions, this is very, very dangerous. So they are chasing those perfect conditions to give Felix the best chance possible, Sally.
Yeah, it's certainly a massive feat that they are attempting. Can you take us through, Mike, just some of the preparations involved in this and what is behind, obviously, the decision that is being made to launch?
Once they make that decision to launch, Sally, it's going to take an hour and a half to inflate that giant balloon. As I mentioned, 55 stories high. It needs to be that high to get him up to that 36.5 kilometre mark above Earth. They also need to then suit Felix up, and that is a process in itself to put that suit on. They pump oxygen into him. We're told that Felix is right now sleeping, so he's feeling quite relaxed about what is to come. Whether or not we're going to see that launch tonight remains to be seen, but they're certainly monitoring those wind conditions above us, and they remain hopeful that perhaps they may be able to launch him later today.
All right, well, thanks for that, Mike. We've certainly got our fingers crossed back here as well, because we're certainly very excited to see it. But for now, we'll return to regular programming on 7 Mate and return when we have more news from Roswell. I'm Sally Barry. Bye for now.